Cute animation knows how to mess with the emotions of a softy audience. It can make them laugh, cry, feel angry or scared as easily as flipping a switch. Because people within such an audience are robots, easily manipulated and can't think for themselves. No wonder we call them NPCs. I care more about technicals and not how much I cried while watching something. In fact, I didn't cry one bit while watching this, because I am not fond of cheap emotional manipulation, which is what shows like these are all about. I don't like being played like a fool, and I focus on good writing. So starting off at that, the first season of Clannad is almost entirely just another high school rom-com with rather stereotypical characters, lots of dumb moe-moe, and a plot that could easily be summed up in a few episodes. The finale stands out because, unlike most other shows of its genre, it allowed the protagonist to choose a girl instead of leaving it open for an infinite number of episodes. You see, most developers don't want to agitate the fans that favor a girl that wasn't chosen in the end, or even worse, because they want her to remain a pure waifu. Well, so much for that, because in this case the writer had the guts to offer a solid decision while still playing it safe so everybody can be satisfied. You see, eventually they made more OVAs that work as alternative sequels, where the protagonist chooses a different girl. They didn't have the duration and complexity of a full series, but it was better than nothing for those annoying shippers who didn't get their OTP. Another interesting bit is how this season escapes the tired-to-death high school setting. The characters graduate and we get to see them coping with adult life by having to find a job and support a family instead of just going to a school and having carefree fun. All of you who got fed up with the usual school romances will definitely get kicks with this far more mature premise. As for those of you who still dig nothing more than school romances, worry not, as the heroine is still in high school since she failed to graduate because of her illness. And she's so pretty and frail and moe, you just want to protect her. There, see, it's still fluff despite a seemingly more serious story. At one point the heroine wants to help out by making money as a waitress. This is again attempting to show a mature side of how women are not always frail and in need of a man to run after them all the time. At the same time, you shouldn't wonder how the hell is she working when she's frail enough to faint while reading for school, much less work hard for 8 hours a day. Just focus on her looking all sexy in that maid suit as she serves her masters. Another interesting part is how the main characters are now married and have a happy life together. And of course that means they are having sex, so it has none of that sexual awkwardness and dense reaction every time they want to express their emotions. Those of you who got fed up with people just holding hands and blushing and romance in a romantic story going nowhere, you will definitely love this relationship. As for those of you who still like dumb platonic school romances, worry not, as we never see them doing anything. I mean, really, all they are doing is the same old crap we get in romances without the tiniest scene of sex. Just look how they are sleeping in separate futons, with different colors in their pajamas and sheets, and are just holding hands whenever they are together. Yeah, so hot and steamy. Midway through the show, the heroine gets pregnant. This is supposed to again offer a more mature approach to the relationship, since now the protagonist will have to be a father with even more responsibilities. Yeah, how nice! Too bad this pregnancy came out of thin air, since they never did anything. But, alas, tragedy befalls this happy family. The show turned suddenly to a tragedy and made tens of thousands of viewers to cry their hearts out because it was sad. The protagonist doesn't scrap it off like it was something minor either, as he is devastated. He lost the meaning of his life and he succumbs deeper and deeper to despair, and worse things keep on happening to him. Just don't mind how his friends and family don't seem to be trying to help him recover for 5 years. We are supposed to accept that they are not important enough to try, or how he is crying over one loving person but he's ignoring another loving person entirely, because the drama wouldn't work that well if there were people who cared. So the show reaches its final episodes where things can't possibly get any worse. Tens of thousands of people can't stop crying because of how sad the show is. They are ready to deem this anime the worst romance of all times for being so evil. They are ready to run back to those ridiculous school romances where the characters never graduate, never kiss, and where nothing ever happens. And then all of a sudden, a time reset happens so we can get a fairy tale ending. Everybody rejoices and deems the show the best romance of all times because everything that was sad got magically whisked away. If the show had remained mature and realistic, if it was about the protagonist having to slowly recover from his depression and having his friends next to him for support, accepting the tragedy as part of the past and moving on with his life, finding a new purpose, a new meaning, maybe a new woman to love and put together the pieces of his life, people would hate the show. So instead of realism, we get this cop-out finale where the scriptwriter says fuck you to reality and renders irrelevant everything that happened in the show. All it takes is to have some magical power that resurrects dead people and turns a shit to chocolate mousse. This is why Clannad is a show about escapism that only uses mature themes as a dressing instead of actually exploring them. This is also why you are supposed to cry because it's sad, or be happy when a fairy tale ending completely trashes the illusion of realism it was faking all this time. It's just emotional manipulation that doesn't work the moment you think about it. Obviously, the emotional fucks are not going to realize that, and they will keep dancing to the rhythm of the Kyoani strings. They will cry at every ass-pull and forced event that is thrown at their face, and they will call it realistic, since anything that gives them the feels is translated as realistic. They will also claim that Clannad After Story is a subversion of school romances, because it's deconstructing the stereotypes of the genre without never truly changing them. It's professional trolling. You know you're being played, and you're still falling for it.